Hi, it's Dwyer. It is May 3rd, 2025. GamblersAdvisory.com, a free site. BettingAngle.us, a free site. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Let's talk about the Devin Haney Jose Ramirez fight. Folks, it was awful, right? Let me just make a few points here. And fighters need to understand that boxing is actually part of the entertainment business. You're not just in there to win the fight. You actually are in there to entertain fans. If you don't care about the fans and if you don't entertain them, sooner or later you're going to find your purses dropping. You're going to find fans not attending your shows. You're going to have to be placed on a card with other big fights just to attract the crowd. Now let's talk about the line in this fight. Believe it or not, Devin Haney to win by decision was going off at a minus 400. That was highly unusual. What the casinos were telling you was that if these guys fought 5 times, Devin Haney would win by decision. Not just win, but win by decision 4 out of the 5. Now, premium subscribers profited because our hedge was Devin Haney by decision. But let me point out that the fight did not go at all like I thought it was going to go. I thought the casino mispricing was Ramirez at a plus 700 simply to win. Right? And Ramirez showed up and landed, I'm not kidding here, 14.3% of his punches against a non-puncher. Right? Player, what are you doing? If the guy doesn't have the power to scare you, right? If the guy isn't Canelo or someone with the power, David Benavidez, where you're thinking, I'm not going to jump in the pocket, that doesn't seem prudent. If the guy doesn't have the punch to keep you out of the pocket, how is it possible that you could be completely unable to cut off the ring over 12 rounds and can only land 14.3% of your punches? Both are disturbing. Let's name the most disturbing stat of the fight. According to CompuBox, right, let's do the math. 40 total number of punches Ramirez landed. And I'm not talking about the jabs he landed. No, I'm talking about total number of punches Ramirez landed. 40. Right? If you divide 40 by 12, you come up with 3.3 punches landed by Ramirez on average each round. Folks, what's going on here? Right? A few weeks ago, I posted a video, Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran. Understand, the first fight. Understand, Ray Leonard's career had a greater than 60% knockout ratio. Right? But yet, Roberto Duran is not only cutting off the ring, not only does he have Ray Leonard, who had great legs, pinned on the ropes, but Duran is jumping in the pocket and he's roughing up Ray. Did Jose Ramirez not see that fight? If you're fighting a Devin Haney, Haney's first fight in a year, right? Haney's last fight, he hit the canvas 3 times. Right? Isn't there a round you get to where you say, you know what, I've got to go for broke? If this status quo continues, where this guy's using lateral movement to dampen my volume, and if I don't step on the gas to get in the pocket to rough him up, then I'm going to lose this fight. Isn't there a round you get to where you say, I just need to run into the pocket. I just need to run after him. I need to force him to engage, or I need to force him to run away from me. Apparently, Ramirez never reached that point. At some point, there had to be a moment where he thought, I'm landing less than 3.5 punches a round. Let's put it in perspective. These rounds are 3-minute rounds. This guy, on average, is landing 3.3 punches a round. In other words, he's landing just a little over 1 punch a minute. If you're in Times Square, you're fighting Devin Haney, you know he was dropped his last fight. You know you're losing this fight just off the volume. I mean, understand. If you're landing 3.3 punches per round and the other guy hasn't hit the canvas, you've given the judges absolutely nothing to work with to give you the round. Right? And so, while I was expecting an inspired performance by Ramirez, who, while he lost to Arnold Barbosa, actually was competitive on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards, Ramirez came in and laid an egg. I mean, a monumental egg. How do you fight Devin Haney and not expect exactly the fight that Haney fought here? Right? Haney's moving. Haney's trying to circle you. Haney's trying to land some jabs and play it safe. He's not going to come find you and try to knock you out. Right? Let me say this too. I'm glad to see Sugar Shane Mosley, a hardcore puncher, is now part of Team Haney. My question is, why was he hired? Was he hired to actually help Haney seek knockouts? Right? If that was the reason, folks, that hasn't happened yet. And we're 1 fight into that business relationship. Right? There's no time in this fight where Devin Haney looks like he wants to even hurt Ramirez. Right? Haney's just there to, run around the track a few times, make this a track meet, have a lot of, lateral movement. He figured out the guy can't cut off the ring. Right? So Haney's just there to stay outside and circle. Did he hire Shane Mosley to actually help his power, or did he hire Shane Mosley for marketing? Is this akin to a fighter saying, you know what, I need to convince the public that I'm trying to land big shots. Let me give Mike Tyson a payday. Right? I'll release his name. The public knows who he is. The public knows he was a fearsome puncher. And maybe that'll take the heat off me. Not sitting down on punches to actually hurt my opponents. Right? I just want to warn both of these fighters. Ramirez looked finished. Right? Ramirez, the next time a promoter says, hey, Jose Ramirez, do you want to fight this ranked contender? He needs to say yes in 2 minutes. Then after he says that, he needs to ask, how much are you offering to pay me? Right? He looked terrible here. He looked finished. Right? I wouldn't have been surprised if Ramirez announced his retirement after the fight. He didn't. Right? Let me say this about Devin Haney. Right? Big name. You have some big wins. You've had some great fights. That Lomachenko fight, we can debate it. But it was a competitive fight. It was an entertaining fight. He knocked down Regis Prograis. Right? But fans are going to expect far more action than this. The only reason we're not ridiculing Haney on landing over 12 rounds, a whopping total of 70 punches. 70. It's because the other guy landed 40. Right? That's the only reason we're not ridiculing Haney. And keep in mind, you knew where to find Jose Ramirez. He's on his front foot. He's in front of you. It's not like Ramirez is on his back foot and he's looking slick and he's dodging punches. No, he's on his front foot in front of you. Haney landed 70 punches. Right? More performances like this, and fans are going to desert you. More performances like this, and fight cards involving cash cow fighters like Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia are not going to include you. Right? Something's wrong when the casino is offering a pre-fight prop of Haney winning by decision, and it's at a minus 400, and that's exactly what happened. Right? This was a terrible fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Right? Haney by decision hit. Great. More beer for me on this fight. But it was a terrible fight. Ramirez did not come prepared for it. Right? Haney had no intention of actually trying to hit his opponent hard. Unfortunately, this was a boxing match. Right? Haney's in the wrong sport. He should be in track and field, not boxing. This was awful. Now let's take a step back and let's just say, I know this fight was fought at a catch weight. But folks, 147 looks like it has some paydays. Right? Mario Barrios looks vulnerable to me. Right? Brian Norman, the public doesn't know him. Now let me just warn Haney, Norman's not going to stand around and look at you and be unable to cut off the ring like Ramirez was here. Right? I believe future Haney opponents are going to prioritize cutting off the ring. But let's just say 147, even Ennis, in what would be a marquee fight, Ennis gets hit by shots. Understand, to take advantage of that defensive lapse that Ennis has been showing lately, you're going to have to land more than 70 punches over the 12 rounds. And some of them are going to have to be pop, going to have pop. So there's an opportunity at 147. Haney is an unbeaten fighter. Ryan Garcia lost. Trust me, after this Haney performance, I'm not even interested in seeing Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney 2. Right? So Haney needs to get it together. Maybe he needs to actually start talking to Shane Mosley. Say, player, how come I don't have power on my punches? Mosley's going to tell him some mind-blowing stuff. He's going to say, well, first, you're going to have to plant your feet. This can't be constant movement, constant lateral movement, right? Why all the constant lateral movement when the guy he's fighting is only landing 3.3 punches around? Right? Haney's moving away from a guy who's not even firing artillery. I think I have the highlights in my favorites folder here online. I encourage people to actually watch this fight. It's really a high watermark for futility. Right? 12-round fight. 12-round fight. The two guys combined to land 110 punches. Folks, we've all seen many fights where one guy lands more than 110 punches over a 12-round fight. Right here, two guys on a high-profile May 2nd card from Times Square. featuring Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez in the other fights. These two guys showed up and thought it was a good idea to throw 110 punches. Now that would have worked if the fight only went 6 rounds. Right? No guy got cut. No guy got bothered. One wonders what Ramirez is thinking the last third of the fight. No desperation. Too polite a fight. Right? If I'm both fighters, if I'm Ramirez, I'm lucky to get another fight. If I'm Devin Haney, I'm going to have to reestablish my relationship with the fans. Those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comment section of this YouTube video. In essence, this is a lateral movement fight. Haney, if he can impose a mobile pocket on his opponent, he's very hard to beat, right? Haney can fight you on the move, right? It's not the most exciting style, but it's an effective style. And he had the perfect patsy in front of him. Those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comment section of this YouTube video. Thanks for stopping by.